in my own hometown. Stranger.
Howdy folks, Little Johnny, and another 5 on Friday. This week nearly didn't happen due to sponsorship difficulties. Basically, Little John's on a self-imposed week-long alcohol-free period. So I'm 4 days in, so no support today. Anyway, so today's topic is basically record keeping, brew logs, how to keep track of your brews. The idea was put forward by on YouTube by Birdy Bro, so thanks mate. He asked to have a look at my keg setup and my brew logs. I haven't got time to do a keg setup at the moment. That will happen in the near future though. I will do that. But today we're talking brew logs and how I keep track of my beers and what I'm brewing. And it's pretty simple. Initially, when I first started brewing, I just used, a book, just a lecture pad. And see, I've got a pile of them. This is the last couple of years worth, and I keep track of those. And I've always done that. Initially, this is my first book I ever done, and this is, you see, the date of the first batch on there, 13th of March 1997. So that was 21 and a half years ago. I was working out of kits and really had no flipping idea what I was doing. Brewing in the shed in the heat and whatnot. But that method has not changed since I started doing that. I'd write my batch in the book and I'd write down on paper what I was doing in each batch. The date it was brewed, the ingredients, and obviously back in the days with the kits it was fairly simple. And a record of what yeast I was using and what temperature. And went on, took gravity readings as we went through. I used to be pretty anal about what I was doing. I used to take gravity readings every day, temperature readings. And I'd record all that, and that's all here. Yes, there's the fourth brew I ever did. Don't know how well that's going to pick up on camera, but all the information's there. Everything I need: starting gravity, final gravity, alcohol, how I primed them, how many bottles there were, and then tasting, tasting notes on each brew. I do a taste, we're tasting it, keep a track of it. No point bloody tasting your beer and trying to remember, 8, 10, bloody 12 batches later. Oh Jesus, what was that pale ale like last time I made it? Did that hop combination work? Was that yeast good? You need to know so you can go back. And as I said, I start off obviously batch number 1 and numbered as I go. And so I said, progress continually through the books. This is the latest book. Just started this on the last brew I did. So from July this year, you can see. And I've gone back to number 1 again because I was up to the 30s, and that's all good. And that's the Wedding Day Imperial Porter. That's not long been bottled. That was the last batch I did. So I keep a record of that. The biggest thing that's changed for me in recent years is the introduction of brewing software and stuff. So I've been using Brew Mate for the last probably 5 years since I started going into all grain. I started playing around with Brew Mate. So obviously I print off my my daily my brew sheet with that, which has all the ingredients and expected numbers and all the rest of it. And I stick that in my book. I still write up my I still do my day, still do the write up and keep a track of that. But day sheets are good. On the day I can scribble stuff on here, and it gets a bit messy and changes and whatnot. But also it gives me a place I can go back and look at the actual IBU calculations. I don't write that. I only put down the actual hops I'm using for what time. The brew day, the day sheet actually lets me go, okay, well, this is the IBU I was looking for and how much each individual hop was going to contribute. and I can go back and get percentages as well. But obviously this is all sitting on Brew Mate on the computer. I have recently upgraded to Brew Beer Smith. I'm still playing around with it. I still don't particularly like it. It's really bloody, I mean, it's a good system, no doubt about it, but Brew Mate for me it's incredibly simple, and it gives, the numbers are right. I'm only really using Beer Smith, a couple of beers, like New England IPA, late hop pale ales, where it will calculate your expected IBU for those post-boil editions where Brew Mate won't do that. It's an older program. So I use Beer Smith just to get those numbers so I know what I'm looking at, but I'm still happier using Brew Mate. But you know, it doesn't matter what you're using, but keeping records is really important. You know, if you're not keeping a record of your brews, you don't know what you're doing. And these books come in really handy. Like I said, there's 2017, 2016, 2012. I'm obviously missing a book in between there, somewhere behind in the cupboard, and the book before that. Yeah, daughter got grief reading that one, told me she loved me. Isn't that nice of her? Yeah. Yeah, but they're all here, so they reckon I can go back and go look at any brew I've brewed and look what was in it and exactly what I did in the process. Yeah. And there's the tasting notes. They're the same thing. Yeah. What worked, what didn't work. I can make suggestions on what I should do with that brew going in the future. So when I go to brew it again, because I don't brew the same thing over and over and over, I brew quite a variety of beers, and everyone probably knows. Yeah. So in 8 months' time, when I want to brew that pale ale I brewed last year again, I can go back and review it, and I can review it from the year before and go, okay, what tweaks did I make, and what changes am I going to make to this one based on the tasting notes I had then? Because I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Was last year's batch the really good batch, or was it the one for 2 years before that? Which hop combination really worked? So that's how I do it. Grab yourself, simple book. These are about $5. And they've got plenty of room in them. Yeah. So this one's still fairly clean, but I can keep other information in here as well. I've got information in here, obviously, on the hop setup for the year. So same thing, I can go through each year's book and look at the details on the hops, and I can keep track of my yeast bank, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things that are going on around the brewery. But they're really good. I mean, and I suggest, even if you're using software on the computer, get yourself a little logbook. Who knows when the computer's going to die, when shit's not going to work, or when the creators of that particular program decide they're not going to carry it on anymore, and you can't access it or whatnot. Not only that, some point down the track, pass this stuff on to your kids. Constant learning. That's great. When the record's important, you need to keep them. It's the most important thing you can do with your brewing. So that's how I do it. There's other ways, but I suggest anyone do it on paper. Use your software to calculate your brews, but keep your record on paper. It's nicer. It's a bit more real, I feel. But anyway, that's it. Little John keeping records. So that's 5 on Friday for today. I'm about to go and pack up a heap of stuff. I've got to try and get this video done and uploaded before I head off to Wollongong. Family weekend, visiting the nieces and the nephews. So hopefully this will be up on Friday, might be Monday. And that's it. So until I see you again, we're talking beer, drinking beer, or thinking about drinking beer. Good brewing.